April 29th, and holy cow, time is flying by. You guys noticing that? Say hello if you are watching. Andy is going to be jumping on pretty soon with me. Um, I gotta I gotta check because something's up with the way that there we go. That my camera's lined up. I don't like it. I don't like it. So, anyways, I thought I'd jump on and tell you guys what I've been up to, what's going on, and check in with you, see how you're doing. It's been an incredibly fast moving month. We are already at the end of it. Go figure. Um, Amazing. Like it's the end of April. I don't even feel like we had Easter because time is going so fast. My granddaughter was like, I don't understand how 10 years has passed, and she's 13. I was like, honey, we've entered a time warp. Do you guys remember that Rocky Horror Picture Show? Is that what it was called? Let's do the time warp again. Feel like that's what's happening for real. So, anywho, gotta move my mic stand. Like I said, Andy's gonna be on in just a few minutes. Hey Angelica, how are you? Hi April. How you guys doing? Who's watching over on the YouTube and Facebook? I see you guys sitting on the wall. Say hello. Let me know you can hear. Let me know that you're here. I have actual makeup on today. Crazy. I put makeup on and everything. Stabby unicorns on TikTok. What? What's up, girl? Oh, my mouth has been so dry all day. My moods have been intense. Let's talk about that tonight. Because a lot of people, I was just telling my friend Andy, like, what is up with all the intense, sort of entitled folks? Hey, Jeff, over on YouTube. What's up, friend? It's so good to see you guys. Hope all is well. All is well. I am in a building phase right now. I'm literally trying to get some stuff that I've made. One is a free quiz that is going to release here soon. It might release Sunday. That was my hope, but I had to redo a bunch of stuff on the last part of this, what's called a funnel. Do you guys know what a funnel is? Uranus is conjunct in my natal Gemini moon, so that probably doesn't help. There's just funk energy. Honestly, the energy is tough right now. I'm glad that I'm busy and I'm working and I don't have time to pay attention to stuff. I'm celebrating. I don't know if I told you guys, like on April, I think it was on the 8th, I started a sardine fast and I went a solid 6 days without breaking that fast and I lost a bunch of weight. And then um I started adding vegetables and all kind of filled like fiber stuff. And so today's the 29th. That would put it at 3 weeks, 3 full weeks of mostly sardines, no sugar, no carbs, other than vegetable carbs, no fruit, no rice, no pasta. Although last night I broke it and I cheated because it was my son-in-law's birthday and they had a cookies and cream Baskin Robbins cake. So I was like, if I'm going to break it for anything, I'm breaking it for this. They asked me to go to Olive Garden yesterday, which I was like, the bread, the salad. And I'm like, I can't put on 2 pounds right now. And I'm doing this project, which is what I've been busy doing for the last couple weeks. So, but I broke it for the cake and I had a little piece, just a little piece. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I didn't gain any weight, which I was very happy about. I probably would have lost a pound had I not done that. So it is what it is, and today is just continuing forward. Mr. Andy's here. Pop on, friend. Bring yourself up. Say hello. Let me change the way that we show up on here so it's not funky. It should work. Enjoying family, enjoying cake. What are you talking about? I had to have ice cream cake. There he is. Hello, my friend.
There
Well,
I am.
uh-oh, hold on.
Hello, hello, hello.
Wait, I'm gonna have to put my I think I'm gonna have to put my headphones in because are you guys getting feedback at
Your odds
all?
in?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see if this works because I don't know with this new mic how well, like, is it gonna pick up that sound or not?
The pick
So you guys tell
the
me,
pickup pattern? There's
listening,
I'm not
are
picking
you
up
guys
any
picking up an
ambient
echo or
noises.
anything? You're okay?
No, there's no loop.
There's no loop? Some things
No,
work.
I think you're good.
No feedback. All right, so I don't have to put my
Nope.
headphones on, which I'm glad because 'cause they're on the floor, and that would mean that I have to move, and that's just asking a whole lot of me right now. Um, you know how when you sit, like, I'm in a position right now where I don't wanna disturb it because everything's locked in, and if I move, then I have to find that place with my chair again, and yeah. It's not that I'm lazy, it's just that,
You are in what we commonly refer to as the sweet spot, and you want to
for the
maintain that.
moment, and it doesn't happen at my desk very often, and I'm sitting differently than I'm sitting farther away than I normally would, but this handy dandy mic stand of mine actually works really well to allow me to kind of pull back and not be so close to the camera. But anywho, how are you? You haven't been on in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, because you've been in the midst of a major project, which I'm really excited about, so that you're working on, and, um, it's well,
It's for everybody you guys know what project I'm working on? Or have you just not been keeping up with me on live streams, which some of you haven't seen in a while, so you may not know. Um, y'all know the job numbers, right? You know I launched a podcast. Do you guys know that? Whoever's watching TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, shout out. Tell me if you listen to my Bernadette Gold Unfiltered podcast yet. Season 1, The Attack on the Middle Class and How to Survive It. Have you guys listened? You've been on vacation where? So jealous right now. Stabby Unicorn's been on vacation.
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm
Good for her,
jealous.
but where?
Yeah, where? Where did it go? Make me more jealous, please and thank
Mhm.
you. We got people on both of my YouTube channels. Funny enough, now Penny wants to jump in. She's barking at my door as if I'm gonna let her in. I know better. Aruba,
Wow.
Jamaica.
Sweet.
Hey, I wanna take you to Bahama.
Come
How's
on,
it
pretty
go?
mama. Yep.
Something like that.
Kokomo.
Kokomo. Yeah. Go
Sweet.
away. Don't look at me. Sometimes having a
Is
glass door sucks because those little beady eyes stare at you like you're
is
supposed to
the
do something.
is the mighty Milo in the room?
No, he's out there with Penny, but Penny's
Oh,
barking, and I can't let her in because in 2 seconds she'll want back out, so there's no point to it. Anywho, okay, so here's what's up. Jeff has been listening to the podcast. Jeff, go Jeff on YouTube. Thank you. Did you enjoy it? Was it informational? Put it in the comments. I want to know. I want some feedback. It was wonderful. I could live on a cruise ship. I could not live on a cruise ship. I lived on a boat. I could do that. I can't share the boat with other people.
5,000 other people and a, all-you-can-eat buffet 24/7, 365? Who wouldn't want that?
It was hard living on a boat with Brindy when she was little and a husky. He's saying yes. So yes, it was informational. I'm assuming Jeff is saying the podcast.
Oh, cool.
Can you tell me what you liked about it? Just a few things instead of just yes. I'm curious, like so curious, and I haven't even had time to go check my stats. I know my YouTube channel, my main channel, Bernadette Gold, 1 is actually starting to grow. My Instagram all of a sudden is growing. My Facebook is growing, and I don't know if it's because I'm posting things that are pissing people off, That's not what my podcast is about, unless, of course, you don't like the truth about what's happening.
You are, to use the much more neutral term, you are engaging people.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, it's active engagement.
Jeff is funny. Did you see his comment?
No, that because he's on
Instead of
YouTube, right?
why, no, he's on YouTube. He's in the
Yeah.
chat. Open your chat box. You'll see it on the screen, on the
Okay.
on the
Hold on a
dashboard.
second.
He said HEZ instead of YES. That's not helpful, Jeff. Help me help you.
Is that an
Literally, you
acronym?
guys,
Is that an acronym for something?
I don't know. I don't
HEZ?
know. Thanks for the heart, me, stabby unicorn. Oh, I liked THD. Dang, this is like deciphering my daughter's texts.
Okay,
T
what's THD? I'm not.
THD.
I must be really behind the curve.
The Come on, you guys. Here, let me pop it up on the screen. Maybe you guys
Or
can
is that
like.
just a typo? I liked THD, the whole thing?
Or did you mean I liked it? Is that what that meant?
I liked it.
See, Stabby Unicorn put YW, you're welcome. I know that what that means. Y'all, I am not good at shorthand text. You
Yeah.
like Okay, cool. I'm not good at shorthand text. Like, my daughter
I'm old
drives me crazy. It took me the
I'm
longest time. You guys are gonna think I'm stupid and old, and I am old. I'm not stupid. I really am not. For a long time, I didn't know what OMW meant unless it was in context to something.
yeah, I can figure that out, like, on my way.
Okay, but for the longest time, I'd be like, "Dinner," and then she'd put OMW, and I didn't know what the hell that meant.
See, and maybe it's just me, and maybe folks that are listening to us can agree or disagree. I just think the abbreviations are rude. I'm old school. You know, when you and I text, it takes longer for me because I type stuff out. I do have a couple of abbreviations which are widespread, like LOL, the simple ones. But most of the time, I'm
Those
typing
are
stuff
old
out
school.
longhand because that's
I typically am dictating. Do you guys wanna hear a story? This is how committed Bernadette is. I'm helping a mom, a single mom who has a 14-year-old, amazing girl, but she has HEDS. She has Ehlers-Danlos, and she's been sick since she was 6 years old. So, I've been helping mom who's a beginner biomag practitioner, um, with protocols, supplements, how to work with her. And then I sent her a Vedic chart. That's a whole other story. Anyways, this morning I was checking in with her, and then I was going in to record a bunch of videos for the project I'm working on, which I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. And I was like, it was taking her a long time, and I guess she got a call. So it was taking her time to respond. And by the time she did, I was in the shower. Now, I do take my phone in the shower if I'm watching a video or something and put it on my little, that thing in the shower, caddy. And so I put it in the shower.
wait, you actually do take your phone into the shower? I didn't know that was a thing.
What? Yeah, iPhones, you can take them in the water and submerge them. I've taken
Okay.
mine to it at the beach in Hawaii. I took mine scuba
You
or
took
not
yours
scuba,
snorkeling? I
snorkel.
know you like snorkeling. You took your phone snorkeling?
Why wouldn't you if you can?
Because you wanna just enjoy the experience and not be
No, no,
electronically
I wanted to
connected?
take a picture of a turtle
Oh,
that was
or
under the
as
water.
we say in the islands, the honu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anywho, so I was in the shower. You guys want behind the scenes. They always tell me, like, do behind the scenes. Well, they don't get any more behind the scenes than imagine Bernadette naked in the shower this morning, trying to wash my hair and exfoliate my face and do all the things. And she responds, right? And I'm like, okay, I gotta find a dry towel for my face so I can get the stuff out of my eyes and then so I can read the text and then be able to text because when your fingers are wet, it doesn't work. The keyboard doesn't work.
That's understandable.
Right. So I start responding and like via dictating. I just hit the button to try and dictate. And it was autocorrecting the living hell. Like, I don't even know what Siri thought I was trying to say, but it was nowhere close to what I was saying. So then I had to text her and say, I'm sorry. I have something I need to finish. Can I get back to you in a few minutes? Right? And she was trying to order reorder supplements, and I really needed to get this message across to her, the ones that I'm saying, "Hold off." I changed her schedule of when to take supplements because she has MCAS, and it's getting bad at night, so I had to go through her whole protocol, but I was waiting for mom to respond, so when she did, I was wet. I get out of the shower, I finally get some clothes on, and then I texted her and I was just like, "I was in the shower," and she starts laughing. I'm like, "No." Like, I was trying to 2 birds with 1 stone. I did not have a lot of time today. She doesn't use any of those abbreviations we talk about, thankfully, because I think if she did, I would lose my cookies. And I was
Why?
getting texts from you at the same time and from my foster daughter at the same time. So, like, I had all these messages coming in while I was in the shower, and then I was trying to respond to things, and then I was trying to get dressed, and then I just it was a funky morning. It was
My
interesting.
biggest challenge with texting, which you know to be true, is I sometimes try to be funny or clever, and that never works when you're texting with somebody. So,
No, it's
a
kinda
and
dry. I mean, I think unless you use GIFs, I've gotten good at using in my comments on TikTok and sometimes on Facebook, I've gotten good at responding to certain things with GIFs because I think they're funny.
yeah,
That's gotten
those
much easier.
well, because it gives you context, whether you're doing "yup" or you're a face or you're rolling around laughing, then they know what you're doing. But I'll give you one example of, how abbreviations can be misconstrued or at least confused. You know that I'm, in the midst of going through traditional Chinese medicine. Well, people that are in it abbreviate it, TCM, and I was
Yeah.
explaining that to somebody the other day via text, that I'm in the midst of going through TCM, and the response was, "What does Turner Classic Movies have to do with anything?" And I said, "Oh, that's right, TCM stands for Turner Classic Movies, not traditional Chinese medicine."
Turner
That's the
Classic
reason I d
Movies.
Yeah, that's the
Oh my
reason I don't
god.
abbreviate most stuff outside of the very obvious ones.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. I don't even just so Jeff finally did type a whole sentence, so thank you, Jeff, about the podcast, and he said, "I liked overall insight." Okay, cool. Um, Thank you. I appreciate you responding, just the fact that and I appreciate you listening. I was just my hopes with season 1 weren't that high. I was like, I'd be happy if one person it helps and two, if I can get 5 people to listen, that'd be really cool on a first season drop.
I think Jeff brings up an important point, which I think is one of your skill sets and unique talents, is that as a deep diver, you're also a earlier a pattern. You're able to see patterns a lot earlier, and you've taken all this information that is out there by itself, and you've brought it all together and made sense for us so that we can use it and move forward too. And I think that's what Jeff sort of is referring to when he likes the overall insight that you're providing by bringing all the information together and collating it for us.
Okay. I like that. I appreciate that. Um, I'm it's interesting because I was expecting to be able to have the podcast released, that whole season 1, on April 11th, so it's been 2 weeks, right? And I was hoping to get season 2, at least a few episodes recorded and done, but this project that I'm doing now is all encompassing, and I think it's really important, and it will help the people who listen to the podcast, so that is where my priority is right now, and I've given myself kind of a deadline. Astrologically, I was trying to push it to Sunday. I might be able to release the first part, which you guys will like. If I can release that part on Sunday, I will. 2 parts, the first 2 parts on Sunday. But the last part of this funnel, it won't be done for another week. Um, and that's all tech stuff. Like, it's all because of tech stuff. Tech stuff is not supporting me at the moment. Um, but overall, it's been fun. So, and Andy did it, so it'll be fun to play. So I created you guys like taking quizzes. How many of you guys you see a free quiz and you're like, "That's me, I wanna do it." You guys like taking quizzes? Put it yes in the comments if you do. If you notice, the podcast topic was about surviving what's coming in the workforce. And I gave a lot of stats. And we have, since releasing the podcast 2 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks now, it's come out that the job numbers that we were given were a lie. It was a fallacy. Sorry. New jobs, we overreported. Loss of jobs, we kind of underreported. Oops.
And
Typical.
and
Typical.
that's well, not only is it typical, it's sort of a function of when you fire the labor person that keeps those stats because you didn't like the previous numbers to begin with.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
So I talked about that on the podcast for this reason. Part of the I know stabby unicorns like big surprise. Yeah. I can't even roll my eyes enough. Surprised they haven't like gone out of my head. Having a hard time. My Guillain-Barré is flaring up. Well, don't type then. Just relax, sweetie, because that one's a tough one. That virus is a tough one. All right. So, um, part of what I've been seeing and what I've been predicting for a very long time is that we're going to move more towards independent income, independent employment. And I just finally saw a couple other people start talking about it in the last week. But I've been talking about this for months and months and saying, like, that is the direction. So I covered a lot of that on the Bernadette Gold Unfiltered Season 1 podcast and how to think about things from a mindset perspective, how to make the shift in how we depend on things, what we're afraid of, how we react to things, because we really do need to be prepared for something different right now. I all of a sudden in the last couple of weeks as well have been seeing all these videos on my feed about people who've been laid off. And we're not for a little while. Like some people, yeah, I was just laid off, right? I had videos showing up on my feed. Tell me if you guys have seen these. And they're like, I got fired 6 months ago or laid off 6 months ago, and I don't have an income. And I'm sending it out resumes by the thousands, and nobody's getting back to me, no interviews, no. And I'm like, 6 months ago, someone I watched the other day was like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I asked Andy, I was like, how do you, like, you're still sending out resumes after a year? How are you paying your bills? Now, one girl, she moved back in with her parents. So it's like,
Since I've got a side gig, a side hustle, the gig economy is sustaining some of these people, and I know that because I have conversations with them as they come in to do DoorDash, Instacart, Postmates. The gig economy is sustaining them for a little bit until they figure the next thing out. So that's good. That's a positive. But you're right. The AI
but
filters.
executives are expecting to go right back into corporate. Now, Stabby Unicorn on TikTok is saying, yes, I've seen the same.
Yeah,
I literally have, I know where this is going. And I'm going to tell you guys plain and simple, and I hope you can handle the truth here too. The job market's not coming back the way it used to be. People are waiting for it to become normal again. Kind of like we did during COVID. People kept saying, when's it going to get back to normal? And I kept saying, this is not going back to normal. This is the new normal. Things have changed, they have shifted, and they will be like this moving forward. Not that we weren't going to be able to go out to eat and all these things, just that life shifted, it changed, and it wasn't going to return to the way it was pre COVID. And look at how health issues have changed.
yeah.
We can't ever go back to pre COVID health.
I think the thing that or the table we want to set as you continue this conversation on the live stream is the fact that you have been mentioning what's happening with the job market and the growth of entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, but that's an existence you've been living for 30 years. So the
Over
experience
30.
you're
Yeah.
bringing to this conversation, you've been living this for the last 30 years. You've been an entrepreneur. You've been building the program that you're putting together that you're going to release soon. You've been living that. So you know what works and what, more importantly, what doesn't work as people try to move forward and do the same thing themselves. So I just want to put that on the table and establish you've been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah. And I don't do just one thing. You guys know that, right? I've been a professional psychic. I've done life coaching. I'm a master coach now after 26 years at it. I am a high performance coach and I'm an integrative health practitioner. So, like, I don't just, even as an entrepreneur or service provider, I don't provide just one service. I provide many services. And I've been reprimanded for that by all the niche marketing people who are like, you have to do one thing,
Yeah.
just do one thing.
And the other thing that I will say in reference to the life coaching and the high performance coaching, that's what they call it now. But Bernadette's been doing this even before they put a title to it. So,
That's
you
true.
know, a tip of the hat to her. She was doing this as an early pattern seer and being ahead of the curve. She's been doing this even before they put a label on it.
Yeah. Back in 2000s when I started helping people after trying to work with animals and realizing it was their owners that were messing them up. Anywho, so we're not going back to the normal job numbers, people. If you're waiting around for a job, for the economy to improve, for corporations to grow a heart and a moral compass, you're going to be waiting until hell freezes over. Just saying. I'm spicy tonight.
And if there people are looking at AI as replacing people, but if you follow AI to any extent, even AI is fighting amongst itself. Sam Altman and Elon Musk at OpenAI are suing each other because they cannot play. The billionaires can't play well together. So there's no what's the word? There's no easy answer to which AI is going to carry the day. You were with Chat GPT, now you're with Claude, and there's going to be eventually a falling out the way there was with the internet and businesses that skyrocketed, then fell off a cliff. That's going to happen to AI too eventually. There's going to be one
Well,
win
we're
at
gonna
someday.
see an AI bubble like a .com bubble, that for sure I know is gonna happen. But here's the thing I wanna say about that too, because I do use AI, but I use it for what it's meant to be, a tool. I don't rely on it, and I think of it as a tool to help me organize my very fast thinking into a cohesive way that I can organize it and deliver it. And it does cool things like organize my Google Drive and my Dropbox folders that are a mess and have been a mess for 7 years. Anywho, I'm not against AI, but AI is not going to go anywhere even with a crash. AI is here to stay. Do I believe that the data centers, the way they're building them at rapid scale and rapid pace without paying any taxes, providing their own water supply, using a closed loop system versus what they're using now, which is an open loop system and drinking water or potable water, that's not responsible nor is it sustainable. They should be required, and this is part of what I'm going to talk about in the upcoming podcast episodes. They should be required to provide their own power via solar and wind and whatever, pay for your own damn electric, pay your freaking taxes, pay them. They should not be passing all those costs on to normal citizens like you and I while ruining water supplies and destroying the environment. I
The
don't agree
biggest,
with any of that. But you know
the
what's
biggest,
funny? I asked Claude about that, and you know what Claude
mhm,
said? It didn't
what?
agree with it either.
The biggest reason that you give tax breaks to businesses that are coming into your area is at the end of the
Jobs.
day, they create jobs. These data centers are not going to create any
Mhm,
jobs at all. There's no reason to
mhm.
give Elon Musk or Jeff Zuckerberg or anybody
Jeff
or
Zuckerberg.
yeah, well, Jeff Zucker is the former head of NBC, so I conflated two names. Um, or Bezos. There's no reason to give any of those people tax breaks. They're not creating jobs.
No, no. So, in all saying all of that, how do you survive it? And this is what I was talking about in the podcast, and I think you guys should go listen to it because you'll probably learn some things. But one of the things that I did start to move towards to help people understand, because this is what Spirit's been showing me for a very long time, those who survive what's coming and what's happening now are the ones who create independent income, sovereign income, not dependent on a corporation, on a platform, right? You can use the platform as a tool, just like we use AI as a tool, but you can't rely on that as your only way of generating income, because platforms, I can tell you, this has happened to me on Facebook. It happened to me on YouTube, on one of my other old channels. It's happened on podcast hosting sites. Platforms disappear, and so does your audience. So you can't like go all in on any one thing, but you're safer being an entrepreneur with an independent income than you are, in fact, staying in corporate America owned by a corporation. And that's just the truth of it. Andy's
Yeah.
not worried because he's at the end of his working life.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm retiring in a few years. I don't care.
So much of what we do is timing, you're right, and I have been blessed enough to be at the right place at the right time, and you and I have had this conversation, off the air primarily, but I got into the media back in the '70s and '80s when, everything was manned because you had to be, regulation-wise, and when technology came along, we used technology to decimate the business to where we are now. But yeah, I've been through it all, and I've been able to. I think "survive's" the wrong word because I think I have been able to thrive by some of the methods that you describe in the modules that you're putting together by creating value for who I am and being unique in what I do and what I offer amidst the homogeneousness and the homogenizing of the media. So um, there are some aspects to what I do that I think are unique and do create value. But at the same time, I took Bernadette's quiz, and the one thing that popped up when it described me
Oh,
based upon
wait, they
my
don't know what the quiz is. We got to tell them.
okay, go ahead.
So, what I'm going to release on Sunday is a quiz. It's called the Income Archety- Archetype Quiz. And it will tell you, based, I think it's 10 questions, it will tell you what archetype you are, of how ready you are, and what type of person you are, whether you're skilled up or not, to be able to create an income that belongs to you. That's what the whole quiz is about. And there's 5 different archetypes. I love archetypes. I've used the archetypes in my work because of psychology and the spiritual aspect of it. I think archetypes are a super easy way to put people into groups, and typically is going to be really, really accurate if you do what's called, like with a quiz, you have to create, if it's a good quiz, you have to create what's called branching logic. I'm a geek and a nerd. And so I decided that I wasn't going to pay. I used to pay for the service to host my quizzes on, and they would help you kind of create the flow of the branching, but it was like $80 a month. And who am I kidding? I don't want to spend $80 a month. So I was like, I'm going to build this on my own. I'm going to code it on my own. I'm going to throw it on my website. And it took a while, but I did create it. And the questions are very deep, and there's a reason that they go where they go. And then I created the weighing scale, the weight scale of, if you answer this way, where do you fall? And it's second question. If you answer this way, where's your rating? Right. So I tested it, I refined it and rebuilt it, added a couple things, got a little clearer on a couple things. I think I added a couple questions. So it might be 12 questions now. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's 13 actually.
Is it 13? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it changed. It grew because it needed to. I needed some more specificity because I noticed there was one bucket, too many people were falling in because I took it a bunch of different times with clients in mind, and it wasn't answering right. So I was like, no, this ain't right. So I fixed it, and then Andy took it. Andy was the first guinea pig to take that quiz. Go ahead, Andy. What did you get out of it?
First of all, I thought that the questions were very um, thought provoking, and some of them I could immediately respond to. Others I had to ponder before I picked the appropriate answer. And then when it spit out, after weighing it and it spit out my description, the one thing that really jumped out at me, which I think most of us have not a problem with, but we don't give it serious thought, is there was one sentence in the very first paragraph which jumped out at me. It was the last sentence in that paragraph, which basically said, I don't think what I do is very special. And I think that for a lot of us who are successful at what we do, because we do it for so long, we don't really think the skills that we possess are anything out of the ordinary or unique. And the course, the course that Bernadette's putting together accentuates the fact that we do all have skills that are marketable that we can use as entrepreneurs.
Period. Period. I mean, I took someone through, so the 3 parts to this, I created the quiz to help people really kinda gauge, am I ready? If I needed to earn my own income, where am I at in that place? And I mean, it takes your financial needs into consideration as well, right? Like, there's a bunch of dimensions to this quiz to see of the 5 archetypes, what are you? And they are like the ones you can get. Andy got the hidden gold mine, the caged visionary, the solutions builder, what was the seeker. How many was that?
That's for
Hidden gold mine, caged visionary, solutions builder, the
seeker.
seeker. Oh my God, I'm missing one. Why can't I remember what it was? Probably because I've gone on to other projects. Well, you'll have to take it to figure it out. But there have been people within my Charm Life program that have taken the quiz now. They're beta testing the 2 things that are already done, and what has come back, I think, is actually very accurate because it perfectly describes them in the way that their skills are, and they never even thought of it either. So if you want a fun quiz, it's gonna be posted on my bio probably Sunday. It will depend on how far I can get my technology working. I sat in my studio and recorded all day today, only to have to erase it all and start over, which sucked because my makeup looks good today. My hair turned out good today, which means tomorrow I have to redo it again. I'm so bummed. Like I got I got it done today with my makeup, which is rare. Don't always get it right.
Well,
Not a makeup girl.
you did it great today, you can do it great tomorrow.
Yeah,
The cool
whatever.
thing the cool thing about taking the quiz is whether or not you've ever given thought to being an entrepreneur, it provides insight into who you are and how you perceive yourself. And
Well,
maybe
the thing
maybe it helps and
is,
gives you some insight to where you are inspired to all of a
what do
sudden
you
become your
think
own
of,
boss.
I'm curious about this because I was thinking about this the other day. What do you guys think when you hear the word entrepreneur, what comes to mind? What definition? What does that mean? Who are those people? Who are entrepreneurs?
There are 2 I have 2 mental pictures.
Thank you, Stabby Unicorn.
I think of people like Warren Buffett and people like Steve Jobs and Bill
See, I
Gates.
don't think of Warren Buffett as an entrepreneur. I think of Warren Buffett as like a titan of finance. That's
Well,
how I see him.
he is now, but if you listen to him at his annual meetings in Berkshire Hathaway, he's still firmly grounded at being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The way he would pick stocks and the way he made judgments. Like one of the things I liked about Buffett and still like about him is he never invested in things he didn't understand. And that's why he didn't get into tech when everybody was in the internet phase and the booms and the busts that were going on. Berkshire Hathaway stayed away from that stuff because his credo was pretty basic. I don't get involved in things I don't understand.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
who else? Uh, it's showing on your phone?
Yeah. Fine. Loud and clear. The
Alright,
hearts are going
so
up on the screen. You're there. I'm there on TikTok.
okay. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. I literally have no idea what's going on with it, but, um, yeah, what do you think of when you think entrepreneur? You as an entrepreneur.
No. See, there to me, there are so many different definitions and different, like you say, there are different archetypes. And you could probably take entrepreneurs and put them into those categories yourself, whether it's Buffett, Steve Jobs, Bezos, Zuckerberg, all those guys. Steve Jobs, Bezos, Zuckerberg, all those guys. You could probably put them into the categories that are come
Okay,
out
but
from the
think
kids.
about that, like literally. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff's saying you always look good with or without makeup. I appreciate that. Um, if you were to think of yourself as an entrepreneur, what vision comes to mind? Not other people, you. What would you have to be doing to call yourself an entrepreneur? Stabby Unicorn saying I was frozen.
Uh, well, you're moving around now.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm itching. I got
it, it
itchy.
may it may seem kind of funky, but because have always enjoyed biographies and trying to grab or model the successes that I read about, is I've always, within the confines of my circumstances, considered myself a the hole that was left was not easy based upon what's best for everybody. So that sort of was a mindset that I kept with myself. Yeah. So I'm like a little entrepreneur within the structure of whatever business I was a part of.
Interesting. Well, and I wanted to know because a lot of people, we're freezing on TikTok, and I don't think it's the stream because I'm not having problems on the stream. YouTube's fine, Facebook is fine. It's TikTok. So if y'all are having problems, there's always other ways to watch right now.
Contact
Just,
Larry Ellison.
you know, yeah, like I'm on YouTube on both my channels and on Facebook on my personal and my business page. So there's that. Like just saying, I can't get it to unfreeze right now, and I don't know what's happening, but it's showing that it's broadcasting on our dashboard, so it doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I'm looking at my phone right now, and you're moving and my head's moving, so we're not frozen at the moment.
Yeah, and yet I can't get it to pull up on my monitor, my TikTok
Uh,
monitor. So, anywho, the reason I wanted to know is because so many people right now, when I talk about like, are you ready to be an entrepreneur? They're like, what do you mean by that? Like my daughter, Brindy, she does custom costumes. And I was like, so how's it feel to be an entrepreneur? She goes, I don't know, mom. How does it feel? I was like, excuse me? Custom patterns that all came out of your little noggin. And then you sell those for very good money, I must say, but costumes are not cheap. I learned that when Bella was in ice skating. Boy, has that changed. Anywho, and I'm like, you deliver a custom designed, made product. You're not an entrepreneur. And she goes, I don't consider myself one. Is that bad? And I was like, well, it just means you're in employee mode. Like, and I talked about that on the podcast. I have a lot of people. I've coached a lot of people. There's Miss Stabby. She's over on the tube now. Yay! Yeah, I
See,
can't get it to work over there.
I can sort of identify with where Brindy is. I wouldn't consider her an entrepreneur. I consider her an artist because from whole cloth, like the way you described it, she's able to create something the same way a writer, a musician, a
Or
painter,
her mother does with
or
things
her
out of
mother
thin air.
does. Those are artistic. So I would consider her an artist. A costume designer. That seems businesslike to me, and her creativity.
So
Because
you
I've
don't
seen
see entrepreneur as a business type. There's creatives and there's entrepreneurs. See, this is fascinating to me. And it's
I
great
think
information.
the business takes care of itself.
That's not true. Point is valid. And it goes along with the episode I did on the podcast about being stuck in employee mode. And one of the things that ends up happening for a lot of entrepreneurs, and all an entrepreneur to me is someone who broke out on their own and started something and started making money off of it. You could be a freaking little kid selling lemonade. You're an entrepreneur. That is an entrepreneur, right? And I really want people to get their mind wrapped around this because what Andy said is very true of not just my daughter, but a lot of people. Oh, but I love it. I don't want to call it a business. I trained horses, right? But I made bank when I was doing it. Why? Because I treated it like a business. It wasn't just something else. It wasn't just something I was doing for shits and grins. Like I treated it like a business. I got paid to ride people's horses. I got paid to show people's horses. I got paid to board and train people's horses and their children. Like, that's what I got paid to do. I didn't just treat that as my passion and love, although it was until it wasn't because of the clients. I had to treat it like a business in order for it to be profitable and be successful. And I say that because I watched my daughter, and this is not judgment. She knows this. I watch my daughter and some of the decisions she makes. She does come to me for business advice. And so does my foster daughter, because they know mom's been through it. She went through the crash, and a bunch of businesses and her friends went out of business. She stayed in business. She actually made more money than all of them combined. So she comes to me, but she doesn't value her time, her creativity, her uniqueness as something that other people will value, should value. And she always tries, and I've been trying to drill this into her. Do not price your items based on your self-image and the value you give you. You price your stuff based on what it's worth and the market will pay. And I mean, I've had to tell her over, stop charging what you think you as a person are worth when you have a low self-image, because you're going to go broke doing it. And trust me when I say, someone who's uber generous, not worth it. Denise
It
is
comes,
saying, I know I'm stuck in employee mode. Girl,
it,
there's so many people that are stuck in employee mode. You are not alone on that one. And employee mode, for those of you who don't know what that is having the mindset that you are enslaved by somebody else and you are just the employee. You have to work for someone. Some people that are in business, and I've coached many people who own their own very profitable companies. We're talking millions and millions of dollars made throughout the year. Okay. They come to me and they tell me all the things going on with their employees and about their vendors and about their clients. And oh my God, why can't we get this together? We're not making as much and I'm like, okay, the pricing thing we can take care of. That's an easy conversation. And we just inch it up until they can buy the it's valuable. But the problem that they have always, and I have to coach them long and hard through this one, is they're still stuck in employee mode. They don't see themselves as the owner or the CEO or the CFO. They see themselves as an employee, and they become an employee and a slave to the business the way they were an employee of the corporation, the boss.
see,
They just take that role with them.
so from that perspective, I almost think to myself as you're going through this conversation with us that I am ready to be an entrepreneur because my mindset is my decisions have always been made, no matter my circumstances, based upon if I were the owner of this business, what would I do?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and it's always easy on the outside. If you were the owner of the business, what would you do? It's always easy when it's not your bank account. And this is true. When it's not your bank account, when you don't have hundreds of people depending on a paycheck and their livelihood to feed their families, it's always easy looking on the outside going, oh, I know what I would do if I own that. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Right.
It's a very stressful thing to own a business. And it's very stressful to be a leader because typically the people under you are not going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what they think you want to hear. That's why people hire me and pay me big bucks, because I don't bullshit people and they know I'm not going to pull any punches. I listen carefully, I tie the patterns together, and I deliver the truth. They want the truth, because the truth is what will set you free and help you improve and scale up and do better and create change within your organization, your relationship, your home, your whatever, whatever, whatever. Like, to me, it's all the same. I don't really like, these are elements of our life, our spirituality, our relationships, how our health goes, and how we do in our jobs. To me, it's all the same thing, just different aspects, different expressions.
Mhm.
But funny enough, work is one of those things we spend so much of our life doing and so little time thinking about the roles that we're playing there in the workplace, and what and how you see yourself. So when I ask you guys, what do you think an entrepreneur is? I know a lot of people sitting out in this audience right now that have the mind of an entrepreneur. They're self-starters. So tell me in the chat if any of this applies to any of you. You're a self-starter. You don't need to be told what to do. You see what needs to be done and you do it without asking, without needing to be given commands. You just go and do it. If that's you, that's one of the qualities of being an entrepreneur. You see the needs and you meet them, right? The marketplace has a need, you create something, you meet that need. That's an entrepreneurial, and that's the entrepreneurial spirit. That's the innovative spirit. You could be an artist, you could be a song maker, you could be a Tai Chi instructor, you could be someone like me. Like it entrepreneur is just someone who's like, I've broken out of the corporate structure and we gave it a title, we gave it a name. Instead
Mhm.
of business owner, which sounds a little cold, someone who is the starter of businesses. That is an entrepreneur. And I know people who have what they call side businesses, contract work, or, they're doing like candle business. They go to the vendor markets, they sell their garden stuff at the farmers markets. They'll call themselves entrepreneurs, right? Some of them don't. Some of them don't. I don't I grow vegetables and I sell it at the farmer's market. "Oh, so you're an entrepreneur." I've heard so many of those people go, "No, not really," and I'm thinking, "Oh, you don't make much money and hold on to it, do you?" Like, that's the first thing I think. Is that bad?
No, but as you were once again lining those things up and explaining it, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you're a member of a team that does some of those things that you were just describing, when you see a need and you fill it, are those little
An entrepreneurial spirit, but until you
yeah.
turn that into a business that generates income aside from a corporation, you're not an actual true entrepreneur.
Right. So my question was going to be if in fact that's part of your being and that's your natural inclination, how do you know that it may be time for you to follow that instinct and become the entrepreneur because you're doing it in small respects anyway, right?
Because you're willing to do whatever it takes to see it through and make it successful. That is the difference between those who start something in a business and succeed and those who quit the minute things get hard. And starting and running a business is not an easy task. It's not for the weak of heart
Right.
at all. Some people are accidental entrepreneurs. They just fall into it because they're really good at something and they're like, or they see a need in the marketplace, like people who've made supplements and marketed it and sold it, like the NeuroGum guys. They stumbled into something, there was a need, they figured it out, they cracked the code, they put it to the market. They got denied by Cuban and them who wanted to buy it for some ridiculous small amount. And they're like, no, we can't sell it for that. And now their company's worth almost $1 billion. Now, Denise on YouTube saying, I don't need to be told. That is one of the first indicators that says you would be good as an entrepreneur. That's part of the reason I made this quiz. Okay. I wanted people to know. This quiz, however, is a lead up into the answer to the question so many people have right now. What?
And Stabby Unicorn is actually in a category where she can in fact become her own boss. The medical field is far reaching and you could
Absolutely right
you could
now.
set up yourself and call your own shots. I mean, I know this from, working with my mother-in-law and my mom and, the physical therapists that came in that made their own schedules and they had their own list of clients. The medical field is wide open for entrepreneurs.
Huge, huge. Yeah, market. Any industry right now, I'm telling you guys, any and every industry and need in the marketplace right now is poised and positioned at this time and in the near future to overtake the market hold that the big monopolies and conglomerates have. I'm telling you guys, like, people need to start learning about what does it mean to be an entrepreneur, for me to be an entrepreneur? What does it mean to me? And what does it mean for me to be one? That's why I released that first podcast, but that's also why I'm creating and getting ready to release the project. So the first thing I created was the income archetype quiz to find out, do you have what it takes to earn an income that belongs to you that nobody could take from you? What archetype are you? Then it leads into, if you want to take that deeper because you do want to make money and you're ready to do what it takes, what's called the income generator blueprint. And that blueprint, it's deep work. And it literally walks you through the process that I've taken my clients through one on one. That takes sometimes months. We got to deep dive into this stuff. I took the process and methodology that I've been using for years and I distilled it down into a very long, but very, very complete set of questions. And it works with AI. I made a whole bunch of um, master prompts for AI to work with the answers to your question that inevitably will deliver a full 5-part blueprint of things that you could earn money doing right away if you need to make money fast, the non-obvious things you could offer just based on your responses. Now remember, I do a lot of things on at a different depth than what a career assessment, a career counselor, career coach would do. It has to do with your psychology and how you answered things. There's certain patterns that are going to come out in the way you answer the questions I've put together. 55 of them. There's a lot of questions, hours. It's going to take you hours if you do it right. By the end of those 55 questions, there's certain things, patterns and categories that are being memorized using AI to organize your thoughts. So you guys will get a chance to see how Bernadette actually works with AI. It's always to organize my thoughts. So I put it in a certain way and then I get AI to answer a certain way. I've created this that way so that it's like having me right there, but not having to pay me thousands of dollars to help you see what you're capable of. I took one girl from Charm Life through it on a beta. Um, I tweaked it after that because there was a couple things I was not happy with the way it output, and it wasn't following the rules. ChatGPT wasn't. Claude was. ChatGPT wasn't. So I had to fine tune it, and I don't ever release anything until I fine tune it. Currently, there's I think 6 people going through beta testing right now to make sure that it's good to go and that they feel like, yeah, it gave specific income paths. So this is not like generic. When you take the income generator blueprint, you go through the process, you're not going to get generic advice of, well, you could maybe buy some candles and sell them. No, it's literally all based on your experience, your skills, your desires, your restrictions, your physical conditions, what you want your life to look like, right? What you've done in the past, what you're not willing to do again. It takes all of that, looks for the non obvious paths of income and the conventional paths of income, and gives you about 3 different income paths, right? On top of that, once you have those paths, you can feed it back in the last sort of bonus step that I created, and it gives you market input. What market is there? It will help you research and spit it out for you and give you demographics of your ideal client or audience, psychographics, which is it takes months to do psychographic research if you've never done it before. And trust me, because I've had to do this for my business, for every one of my services multiple times. It's a pain in the ass when you don't know what you're doing. But the psychographics is, who is the specific person? What problem do they have? What situation are they in? What do they need solved? And how does your product solve it? You're going to walk away with all of that. Literally, you guys would have to pay me thousands to go through this process with you. And everything that's in the blueprint that it gives to you, you literally have like, okay, I know what I want. I have 3 choices. And then there's more and more information that it spits out if you even want to go deeper than that. I created, again, a bonus set of added questions to take it deeper. From there, what I'm working on right now is what's called the income architecture foundations. And foundations is about building a business, the structure and legality of it, like how to set your business structure up, the first thing that you need to do before you start earning money, or if you're already earning money, like content creators that have not set their stuff up as a business, so that you don't get dinged on taxes like a crazy person at the self-employment rates, which are the highest rates for taxpayers. We go over that. We go over how to offer what you have, what you're gonna do, like, clearly offer it. How do you make an offer? How do you create a space to speak from it or to it from? Who is in your marketplace? How do you talk to that person so they stop and listen and don't just scroll past on social media? How do you price it? How do you package it? There's 4 income paths there about how you can package or offer services or products. And it doesn't matter what you end up selling, like, it's all the same thing. Business is business. Um, and then how to work with certain tools, the tools you need for the different things that you're doing with your business. And what was it? The other stuff, it was pricing. There's literally 12 full modules in there of lessons. There's over 60 lessons. I was telling Andy this last night, and he was looking at the landing page I made for it. You would literally, because there are business coaches and different coaches that will sell every one of those 12 modules. Well, 11, because one of them's the intro and all of that. They would sell each one of those 11 modules as one course for anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, $3,000 just for one of my modules. There's 11 modules, like from start to finish. You're ready to go with a 90-day roadmap of your action steps and what to do, and then how to come back and revisit it. Go ahead.
This is an important point to be made because if you sold those individually, those 11 modules individually, which is the way most businesses are done, but you're putting them all in one place, one time, one offer, and you get everything you need to be off and running. That's another unique difference. And anybody that's done and been in this space, whether it's wellness or self-improvement, knows that basically is it. You buy one course, it focuses on one thing, and if you want some other aspect, you've got to buy, and they're more than welcome to do it.
The
They'll
next
upsell you
course.
something else. They'll add on to that course with more and more and more, but they're basically selling you one thing with all the other add-ons. You get everything all in one package in this course.
And it's not thousands. You guys are gonna drop your drawers when I tell you how much I priced it out. It's not gonna stay there forever, but it is gonna stay there for now because, A, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know this. My passion and purpose on this planet is to help people. Now, whether that means I'm helping you heal your health, I'm helping you heal your marriage, I'm helping you move to deeper connection with yourself and God, or I'm helping you create the income that you need to support yourself and your family. Help is what I do. I create things to help people based on my knowledge, my skills, and what I am more than capable of delivering. Now, I was in marketing before I left corporate, and that was when I was 28 and I'm 59. It's been many years. I have a background in this stuff. I know how to do marketing. I know how to run businesses. I've done it and I've been successful at it for over 30 years. I've watched this coaching industry and digital online course. That's kind of an industry in and of itself where people will just let me put 5 things together and sell it for $1,000. When I priced the realities of every module in this course out, it came out over, it was somewhere between, what was it, 12,000 and 25,000 if you were to buy all these modules together. You would have to go through that many courses and it would take you months and months and months. Well, people are losing their jobs or have lost their jobs and they need to flip into, I need to start making money. So whether you're looking at a solo gig, a side gig, a whole business, you want to sell services, you want to work, you know, person to person, person to business, business to business, it doesn't matter. everything involved in there helps you set it up. And I'm working with clients. Like I've done this process with lots of people, but I'm working with a client right now who's leaving one industry and then going into their own consulting agency. I already helped her set up the business structure, and do the name. And we did a lot of the mission and the branding and the services. And now we're making a second run at it to see what have we missed. She's actually doing my blueprint, to double check. But right now, people need all of that. Like, it doesn't matter if you take the blueprint, if you don't know how to run a business, if you don't know how to price it, if you don't know how to offer it, if you don't know how to get people to listen to you, right? Does you no good. So for $597, I am making this course available called the Income Architecture Foundations. And it is the building of your business, architecture for your business, the foundation that your business will sit on, instead of just throwing it together and then later going, oh shit, what have I done? Right. And you're not in compliance, or you've built this thing and nobody's buying. Like, you'll have a 90-day roadmap. I could have sold it for a lot. I could still, if I wanted to raise the price. I'm not going to raise the price because I'm here to help people find answers to the things they need answers to. And I don't care how old you are. Like, if you're really dedicated to making money and you're 17, 18 years old, you could do this. Literally, you can follow step by step, and it's self-paced. The quicker you go, you got to be thorough, but the quicker you go through it and just keep your momentum going and finish, by the end of those 12 modules, you have your business, you have your brand, you have your business statement, you have your messaging, you have your audience, you have your price structure, you have how you're going to package things, you have your outreach. Literally, you have all of that and a 90-day roadmap of how to land your first client. Whether you're a landscaper or you're creative or you're someone who is going into consulting or creating your own agency of some kind, you will have all of that at the end of the 12 weeks. Or 12 lessons, not even weeks. Like, literally, if you sat down and did the whole thing, like really filled out the workbook, did the answers, created your foundation file and the whole thing, and really dialed it in, your package could be ready within a week or two. Truly. Like, I could do it. I could do it in a week or two if I sat down, but you have to be thorough. Like, don't half-ass it. Like, I could sit down if I had no job and I had no distractions and my whole focus was build a business, make an income. I could take 7 days, 10 days, dive in and completely create a foundation and architecture for a new business and do it right by following the teachings in my course. And that's what I'm hoping to give people is like, now you know what you want to offer with Blueprint. You go to foundations and now you have the actual building and you're following through. Okay, I set up my business bank account. Okay, I got my EIN number. Okay, I either got an LLC or I registered as a straight up S corp. Like, we go through all of that stuff, all of it.
There are two things that I would like
Hi,
to
Jeff.
remind folks about in reference to this. First and foremost, anytime I come across things that are on my screen or I'm curious about, the question I always ask is, okay, where is this coming from? Bernadette built this. And how does she know it works? Because she's lived it. There are people that in the world that we populate, Bernadette more than I do, but I've got tangential curiosity about the wellness and self-improvement niche. And they've got people that are taking courses that, they're 25 and 26. And when they walk out, they've got a certificate that says, I'm a life coach and I'm a high performance coach. And they're 25 and 26 and they have
And they pay
no
like $100 for that certification.
$97 for the last course I saw online. You too can become a life coach.
ICF certification even.
Yeah.
The International Coaching Federation, which you guys, if you didn't know, is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, but my point to that is they're 25 and 26 and they think they've got the answers to people's problems and they have no real life experience. This
Mhm.
works because Bernadette has lived it and she knows the pitfalls and she knows the stuff that works when you apply yourself. That and at the end of the day, you get her. That's the
And I've
program.
run businesses in California, New Mexico, Colorado, Washington State, and now Texas. So 5 different states. It's not like I just stayed in one place and I only know how the rules work in my little town and that I've never left. I've run other people's businesses for them when I was in corporate, right? So where I'm coming from with this whole thing is I want to deliver the knowledge that I have to people in a very accessible way so that you can make money. You can get away from being a corporate freaking slave, someone who gets fired or laid off because, oh, profits, we got to protect our profits, and not having anything to do with whether or not they care about you or the fact that you built their business. You are the reason they're in business. I don't have a whole lot of empathy for the way businesses are behaving. And that's a fact. I think the only way, and it is going to be part rebellion, the people that thrive, not just survive through this wave of discomfort, destruction, and change that we're going to be going through, are the ones who are like, I'm taking my own destiny in my hands. I'm not letting a corporation, a government, an institution decide for me how much money I get to make. When I have to show up, who I have to work with, I'm going to make those decisions on my own. And I know the first time that you think like that, it's scary. I thought I second guessed myself all the way to the bank, all the way to the bank. The first time I had to go set up a business bank account, I'm like, this is insane. What am I doing? Am I out of my mind? And you know what? The first time because we didn't have mobile deposits, because we didn't have cell phones, like not everyone had cell phones back then. That's how old I am. Literally, the first time I took client payment to the bank, I you should have saw me strutting in there like a freaking Petunia, what was that chick from what is that one? I can see it in my head and I can't remember what animal it was. It's a cartoon. Anyhow, peacock, Petunia the peacock.
Oh, okay.
I strutted in there like a peacock and deposited that money. And I'm not going to tell you that over 30 years I haven't multiple times said maybe I should go get a job at a company. So much easier. I don't have to bring my work home. I am home all the time. My work is my home. It happens in my home, but I have an office outside of my home, which makes it slightly easier. But I raised 2 kids as a single mom, paid for a home, raised a husband for a few years there, and he lived off of me. Then my dad, right? It's been like that now since I've been in my own business, and then I help other people. There's a need in the world right now. People need to make an income. They need to make an extra income. And you can either hustle your way through it and just grab the door dashing. They don't care about you either. The Spark deliveries or the Instacarts or all these Uber driver, right? Uber Eats. You can do those jobs and make minimal money while they're keeping the majority of the fee that they're getting for you delivering while using your gas, destroying your car, or you can do it for yourself in your local area. And I can teach you how to set up that business
And I
and
will
remove
tell
the
you,
middleman. We got to remove the middleman, y'all.
I'll tell you, not from my personal experience, but from anecdotal stuff. I've got friends that are door dashing, and some of those deliveries, they're paying you $2, $3 a delivery. It's ridiculous. That's not sustainable. That's not a sustainable business
That's
model for
rude.
anybody except
It's rude.
DoorDash.
It's rude. So Denise is saying my company stopped contributing to our pension. A lot of companies. I'll tell you, I've heard some horror stories about people that have, how the government was laying a bunch of people off. They had pensions, people that were close to retirement. Hella if they can get their retirements. How if they can unfreeze all that money they were vested in for almost 20 or 25 years of service. Like, this is what I'm telling you guys. I'm not trying to be like a fear monger. Let me scare you. I'm telling you, there there's opportunity in job loss right now. For those of you who have gotten laid off and you're freaking out and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to make it? I'm telling you, stop looking at what you lost. Start looking at what's available. You have an open road in front of you. Listen to my podcast. Do that quiz. It's free. If you are really wanting to figure out what you can offer, do the blueprint because it's going to give you multiple paths, multiple things. And the one girl that I took through it, beta tested it the other day, there was something that she perfected and learned on her own. And this was recently, and she had never thought about it. It was just something she concocted. It was a way for her to make money. She's a delivery person. The system she created, what came out of the blueprint was you could sell that system to other people doing this job as independent contractors, 20 bucks a shot. You'd sell 100 of those. Do you know how much money that is? Because she's building a t-shirt novelty store on like a Shopify and whatnot. The profit margin, because I had one, the profit margin of those, you're talking $2 a shirt, $2 a cup. To get to the even like 20 bucks, you got to move a lot of product. There's not a big profit margin there. You package and sell your own knowledge that answers a problem for someone who actually has that problem. You sell 100 of those at 20 bucks. You're at $2,000, right? And most people don't see you have opportunity sitting right in front of you. Not hard to find 100 people doing what you do across the United States right now that are hustling. I say work smart, not hard.
People need to remember, that some of these billionaires today started with unique ideas, whether it's, Jeff Bezos selling books online. You look at Amazon today and how big it is, the monolith it is, but his idea originally was selling books online. Everybody thought he was
And it
crazy.
grew. It grew. Yeah.
And the same thing with, I mean, we all have personal computers today, but you go back to Gates and Steve Jobs, and they had the vision in their garage to create personal
Okay,
computers that they
before
hand
Gates and
built
Jobs, and a
themselves.
lot of people don't know this story. Before Gates and Jobs, somebody um, had gone to IBM and said, "There's going to come a time when every household will want a computer." And no, it was Xerox. Sorry, IBM. Founders of IBM had gone to Xerox, and they were the first ones that made a computer. And they're like, "Everyone's going to want one." And Xerox was like, "Yeah, we don't see it. Like,
Right.
why would that be?"
And the kicker to
And
that
then
story,
IBM was born, the first real computer manufacturer, right? IBM was the one before Apple, before like IBM was the one that created the first working model. Now, they used to have these huge ass disks. Do you remember those? The servers for the
yep,
old IBMs? Like you had this server room and you had to put these big ass cartridges. Again, I'm old
the
into
main, yeah.
systems to record, right, data.
I mean, if you look at those I mean, if you look at those mainframe rooms, those were the original data centers because they were just rooms that were ice cold, filled with these massive mainframe computers. And the kicker to that story, you're right, was IBM and even Xerox didn't see a market. They weren't visionary enough to see a market for personal computers. Both Gates and Jobs saw it, and they actually, some people would say Jobs contended that Gates stole the idea for the mouse from the folks at IBM and Xerox that they had developed it, but they didn't see a future for it. So they took
Yeah.
ideas that these guys thought had no future and they ran with them. And look at where they are now.
Yeah. I mean, it changed the world. But the thing is Xerox didn't have the vision for it. But does that mean that there was no market for it? Just because they couldn't see, it's like the guys on Shark Tank with the Neurogum guys, right? They wanna cut rate, you know, and give them very little and take advantage of them. And the kids said no. And then look what happened. They are worth so much money now. I'm so glad they got a shitty deal. So glad they got a shitty deal and they didn't take it because it was wrong. It was a bad deal to begin with. But literally, I'm telling y'all, like, there's opportunity. I know it's scary to be unemployed. I was there once too. I did not end up an entrepreneur just cuz. Like, I was working as a business development director. I was getting tired of corporate. I really wasn't happy. I did it because I was told to climb the ladder, and I did that very well, very fast at a very young age without a college degree. I was always very good at whatever I put my mind to. But the feds shut down the company I was working with because it was a Ponzi scheme. And I feel kind of bad because I was their business development director. I ran the marketing and sales team for both the investment side of our business plus the leasing side of our business. It was on me to bring in customers both sides, investors, people doing the leasing, restaurant owners, people that had like we sold a lot to restaurant owners. Anywho, that was on me. I made that company $6 million in less than 6 months. That is it was so funny because I was talking to someone about this the other day and they're like, that's unheard of, right? Like, that's hard to do. I did all of the marketing materials. I trained the sales staff. I ran the sales staff. I did the trade shows. I did all of it for them. And I made them a shit ton of money. And then the feds came in and shut us down because it was a Ponzi scheme. I didn't know it was a Ponzi scheme. I didn't have time to really pay attention to that. And I was some 28-year-old wet behind the ears girl in San Diego living the high life in corporate, working my ass off raising a kid by myself. But when that happened, I was living on my boat and I'm like, shit, I'm a single mom. What am I going to do? Well, I already knew people because I was already like a big part of how I got jobs and I did a bunch of side jobs for people in San Diego was get them onto the internet because it was the birth of the interwebs. People were like going from digital print, which is what I had done before, and we're putting it on websites.
Now,
But a
now
bunch
for
of the
fo-
businesses didn't
for
know what
folks
that
that are,
was.
you got to give them perspective because folks now all this stuff is a necessity for us. Tell them what we're talking about. You're talking about the 90s.
The 90s. Yeah, this was in the 90s. Yeah, so, I mean, I took what I knew. I knew marketing, I knew graphics, I knew print marketing, I knew how to do print layouts and design. I worked for a design company for a couple of years. So I took everything I knew running 3 different companies, um, marketing departments over the course of a few years, and I sold those services. But then I hated it. You hear me? This is my first attempt at entrepreneurship and survival. I hated it. It's what I knew, but I hated it. But I had some money and I wanted to move off my boat. So I moved off my boat. Then I sat for a couple months, fixed some things on my boat. I had a bad engine, which cost me thousands of dollars. I had to fix that. Um, And I was trying to figure out what do I really wanna do? I really, really wanted to run a horse training and boarding facility, but my dad always said you could not make money with that. My dad was not in the horse business. He didn't know. I always made money with horses. So what did I do? I rented a 10-acre farm and opened a horse training and boarding facility and walked away from marketing and said, "I'll never do it again. I freaking hate it." That got in my way, that belief, side note. After I started this business and online marketing became a thing because I hated marketing. I've always found people and people found me because of word of mouth. I've always been very fortunate that way. I've always had people that have referred people to me. But I've since embraced marketing. It's part of what we have to do when we own a business and when we're entrepreneurs. But understand my first business, it was something I hated. And I decided to shut it down and go work on horses, train horses, do it full time. And then from there, Spirit redirected me to Colorado. But at the same time I was doing the horse farm, I partnered with my boyfriend at the time and we ran a tech recruiting agency This was back in the 90s. Like, we were making money hand over fist. My barn was making money. Like, life was really good. And when I look back to where it started with my hands in the air and some feds pointing guns at me saying, "Step away from your desk, don't touch anything." Like, that is where that started, with me in shock and like, "Holy hell, how am I gonna support myself and my kid? We're in San Diego. How am I gonna do this?" And I didn't wait around for someone to hire me. I didn't apply anywhere. I just started making phone calls. "Hey, I'm free. Some stuff happened. You'll probably hear about it in the news, but if you guys know anyone that needs some marketing, design work, blah, 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 they wanna go on the internet." And I just started getting in touch with people that I've known through the other companies I worked for and word of mouth, and before you knew it, I had business coming in, and I didn't have to work at it. That is what's possible when you make a decision. You don't have to stick with it forever. I've pivoted businesses. Let's see, I got rid of the marketing company. I got rid of the tech recruiting company. Eventually, my boyfriend, I just gave it to him. I didn't wanna deal with him or it. I got rid of the horse farm and then built this from scratch. I moved to Colorado with no idea what I was gonna do, and Spirit had a plan.
What you just described, which you also chronicle in your book, The Crooked Path to a Charmed Life, the thing that immediately popped into my head, which is one of my favorite lines from Bruce Lee, has to do with to hell with the circumstances, I create opportunities. And anytime I come across something where I don't like the outcome, that phrase pops into my head. To hell with the circumstances, I create opportunities and try to figure out, okay, what lesson am I supposed to learn here, or where do I go now?
And there's opportunity everywhere, even in a bad economy. And this is coming from someone who not only rode through the 2008 crash where many of my clients ignored my advice and did not pull out of the stock market and lost millions of dollars. Some of them their life savings, and then called me later and said I should have listened. I'm not a "I told you so" kind of person when it's stuff like that, you know? When it comes to things like the orange one, I am one of those people, so don't push it. That's just the way I am with that one subject. But with that stuff, I've got a heart, you know? People wanna hold out hope for, "I'm not gonna pull out my 401k and my yada, yada, yada." Well, y'all look ahead. Look and put the pieces together. Everything that I've been predicting and forecasting has happened right on time too, and I'm not happy about that because I don't want anyone to suffer, including me and my family. We are all gonna go through this. We might as well go through it with a lifeboat that floats, not going down with the Titanic without any plan. Now's the time to build. You've got some runway. It's short right now, y'all. I hope you're hearing me. The runway that people have to really kick it in, you've got some months at most. You've got months before things get tighter and tighter and more corporations just start cutting, 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 cutting. And I say we take the power away from them because people want to do business with people. They don't want to do business with big corporations. I'm like that right now. I literally only wanna shop and spend my money with people that actually fulfill and hold to the same values I have, and if they don't, I won't do business with you. You're not getting my money. I don't care. You're just not gonna get my money.
There are connections that are, fostered, and I do this purposely and with intention. You know, you're right, I don't eat out a whole lot anymore because I'm on a
Mhm.
different meal plan, but when I eat, I specifically go to mom and pops
Yes.
because those folks are doing their level best, and when you're in there, you know, and you go there frequently, they remember who you are and what your favorite dish is, and they ask about your family, and, you know, they're part of the community, and the money stays here
Yeah,
wherever you
yeah,
live.
in the community. Yeah.
So,
We're
th
moving
th
that direction, y'all. Trust
yeah,
me. You're gonna remember this someday and go, "Oh, man, she was right." We're moving to more community based. Now, does that mean we can't do international global type business? So that's not what that means. But community net like community first And community can also be your online community right now, but we need to build locally on top of online and internationally. So that's why Spirit, I think, has really pushed me to put this out in the world, and it's taken a whole lot of work. Thank God my brain is coming back online to do this. Like my brain, my thinking, my processing, my ability to do a system architect deal like I'm doing right now. It's all coming together and working probably better than it has in the last 3 years. Like my brain and the way I feel energized, I think spirit has a lot to do with it, but physically, I feel a lot better than I have in the last 3 years to be able to put this in place at an affordable rate. Like $147 for the blueprint, which would literally cost you at least a grand if it was priced properly. 147, like a tenth of what it should cost you. 597 for, and this is one-time fees. 597 for the foundations course. That would literally cost you over 10 to $20,000 easily if all those courses were broken up, and that's the only way they're available right now. Like nobody puts it all into one package, one place. Nobody at
And they
all,
do and they do that
unless
for
you're doing private with them, and that's
right.
your package. That package to do a private gonna cost you $50,000 guaranteed.
And they do that specifically because a lot of these groups are big, and they're honestly, they're there to make money. So
They are there to make
they
money.
break it down into segments or fragments because there's more money in the pieces than if they sold you the total package.
I just wanna be able to help people, and as low as I could go conceivably and feel okay about it, to not feel like I just gave away the farm, um, was 597. Like, that was a way more fair price for trying to help people than I could have ever done. Like, I can't go any lower than that because literally you have to invest something. You're not going to do the work, and this is not easy work to do. This is not like just watch a class. That's not this. This is actual work. Andy's been in my programs. He knows when you come to my programs, you don't just sit and watch like you do on the live streams. Like we're working, we're doing stuff.
The analogy I use in reference to Bernadette is she is the Sherpa guide. She knows how to take you up Everest because she's been there herself. She knows the route to take that is the best one. But since we're going up Everest with her, we still have to do the work. She's the guide. She's got the
Yeah, I'm
life
not the
experience.
donkey to carry you. I'm the
Yeah,
guide to say, "Come this way. It's the
exactly.
safest path. This is how we get there," and I go with you, but I'm not the donkey that you're gonna ride on to get up to Everest.
No,
This is
you're gonna
how I
do
work.
Yeah, you're gonna do the work, and you will develop a sense of fulfillment, as in my case, I've been working with Bernadette now for 3 years. When you peel back the onion layers and you realize that, what you thought you were capable of, you're capable of more, and the perspective and the gentle nudging that she does, or sometimes having to go through the back door because I've got a stubbornness about me, and she knows that, so she knows she's not going to get the answer by going through the front door. She's got to work behind. And then eventually, the moment of clarity comes for me, she's the guide that got me there.
You know what's funny? A lot of times men, that's the way it is. I have to come in through a back door, but not just men. Like it's not specific to more men than women though. I
Yeah.
I I literally have to go around someone's when we say back door, I have to go around someone's defenses and find a blind spot that I can creep into so that I can get them to see what's true about themselves and then it just boom turns on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope you guys learned something tonight. I don't want to keep you. It's been a really long, and I'm so grateful for Andy for coming on and doing the stream with me tonight. I wasn't sure I was going to come on, but then tech problems. So I decided, I might as well knock it out. And still tech problems like TikToks. I don't know what's up with TikTok. It says that I'm live, but it's
Yeah. I had
like,
to, I had to refresh my screen a couple of times because it did freeze up.
yeah, no, but we're not getting
Yeah.
comments. And yeah, I have no idea what's up with that. Anywho, you guys, I will let you know as soon as that quiz and the blueprint release. The foundations will probably be a week away. But I mean, anyone that takes the blueprint and wants to do foundations, it's going to take you a week to do that blueprint. Like, this is not easy work. This is not like a checklist, a PDF checklist. Like, this is work. And what you get out of it is going to pretty much amaze you, but it'll give you several income paths. And then you can repeat the process if you want even more. So I'm glad you caught me too. I miss you, girl. I miss you. We haven't seen you. Saw that. So I thought to pop in here. Yeah, weird, right? Book of Worms. Like, I don't know what's up with the TikTok. Like, it's messing with me big time, which I'm okay with it. Whatever. Anyhow, Mr. Andy, thank you.
Always a pleasure. I love hanging with you and conversing. You know that.
We'll see where we're at next Wednesday if we come on. Um, Friday's the 1st, y'all. May 1st, May Day. May Day, May Day.
May Day is Lay Day in Hawaii. It's a celebration. So have a good time on Friday.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be in my studio recording the entire rest of the week in between clients, and as long as my tech holds up, everything's a go, and then I have to go in once I record all my videos for my course, I have to edit those videos. Everything else has been done. Like, I've done all the exercise course, I've done all the creating of the documents and all the hard stuff, and the 400 and something slides, like, no joke. You guys have been busy. Busy. I've been busy. So,
Stabby Unicorn, it's been nice to see you too. Thanks for hanging with us. We appreciate it.
yeah. So, I'll be back when I can. I might pop on this weekend. One never knows. Bernadette has to go with Get It Done. If I can get this released by Sunday, I'm going to. So, you may not see me until Sunday. I pop up and I'm like, "Hey, hi, it's released." You may see me on May Day. I don't know. But yeah. In the meantime, those of you on Hidden Wisdom, I'll see you there on Friday to do the monthly report. I already pulled the astrology. May's going to be interesting. If you're not in Hidden Wisdom, what are you waiting for? Like, if you want to know what's coming up, my Andy, are my astrology reports and my tarot readings in Hidden Wisdom accurate?
They are batshit crazy accurate. And we're going back 2 years when you were warning us about the deconstruction in order for us to build a better community. Yeah, it's been crazy
Like, right
accurate.
on, huh?
Yeah.
Every month. Every month. Yeah. So it's good. Forewarned is forearmed. Like, you actually know what days to stay home, how to understand what's going on with energies, when your energy is going to peak. People are freaking weird right now, and we'll talk about that in an upcoming episode. But for now, you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you.